What's up guys, welcome to this video. In this video we're going to show you how to properly mount your ski bindings. What you want to do is take your skis and your bindings to your local ski shop, go to the back and say, hey, can y'all mount these for me? For real though, what we're trying to say is, don't try this at home. And if your skis end up looking like this, we're not responsible for that. I think I can still use them though. Alright guys, so what you're going to need in order to mount your binding onto your skis, bindings. Alright guys, so what you're going to need in order to mount your bindings onto your skis is a drill, an impact driver if you want to use that to put your screws in. If not, if you don't feel comfortable, I highly recommend doing it by hand with a screwdriver. Make sure it's the right size for the screws. That's pretty important. A straight edge, pencil, a blade screwdriver, combination square or tape measure, some sort of measuring device. Calipers, you don't need these necessarily. You can use one measuring device for all of the functions, but as you watch the video, you can decide what you want to use. You're gonna need some masking tape. I'm gonna use electrical tape. No, that comes after the next part. You're gonna need some drill bits. I'm gonna use electrical tape to mark how deep to drill the holes. Again, if you don't feel comfortable with doing that, they actually make specific drills for doing this, or you could use a collet to stop your drill. But it's really important to make sure that you don't drill through the bottom of your ski because, yeah, your ski's not quite gonna function properly. Oops. Also, you're going to need a template. If you can find one online, just type in what bindings that you have and see what you can find. Make sure that it's printed out in the right scale. And, oh wait, I'm starting the tutorial before I finish what you need. Hopefully this goes without saying, but you're also going to need skis, bindings, and the boots that you want to use. And a cup of coffee. Alright guys, so I realized that I literally just forgot to put a couple things into the intro of what you're going to need. You're going to need a punch and you're going to need glue. I've always used epoxy. You could also use wood glue or Loctite. Alright guys, so let's get right into this. Once you got your template that you printed out from the internet, since the internet is always right, never trust anything that you see on the internet. We're gonna test mount these on a piece of wood just to make sure that the template is gonna work out. Got these right here. Mark your center line and mount your bindings with the same process that you're gonna see for your skis. Just do it on a piece of wood first. Yep. In order to use your template, the first thing that you need to do is take your boots off. Always make sure that you buckle your boots up so you don't deform your shell. Alright, once you got your boots off, look at the bottom of your boots and see the size. There's an important thing here. These boots are actually 25.5. That's the size of the boot. But that is not what you need. What you need is the actual length of the base of the boot, which should also be written on there. And in the case of these boots, it's 295. Now you can put your boots back on. Okay, once you got your boots back on, it's time to get the template set up. Generally, how these work is there's two pieces to the template and you're gonna cut each side of the template at the size of the length of your boot and you're gonna tape the two sides together. And once you've done that, your template should look something like this. Let's talk about where you're gonna mount your binding. On your skis, there should be a line marked and this would be the recommended boot center. These are generally offset towards the tail of your skis, and if you wanna know how much, easiest way to do that, take one of your skis, flip it around, line up the ends. So this line is here, this line is here. So half that distance, which on my skis is like an inch or like 2.5 centimeters. That's how far these lines are to the back of my ski. So they're pretty close to actual true center. Going to the recommended line is a really good idea. The only reason why you wouldn't is if you're a park skier. I'm not saying this from experience, it's just what I've heard. If you're a park skier, in order to do your rotations and to be able to balance on a rail, you might want to be actual true center on your ski. Other than that, just go to the recommended line. All right, let's get started with the next part of the video. So first thing that you're gonna need to do is put one ski aside. Work on one at a time. Don't stack them up and drill through both.
It definitely saves time though, so consider it.
It saves time, so it's a trade-off, but I like to do one at a time. So what you're gonna do first is find the center line of your ski. Take some masking tape Put this approximately, just eyeball it in the center. Now, in order to find center, going to measure across the ski here. Oh, here's the important thing here. Back up so they can see me talking. You want to be centered on the edges of your skis, not like the edge of the base, but the actual cutting edges of your ski. That's going to give you the best performance. I'm going to measure here 5 5/8, so half of that is not 5 5/8, that's 4 5/8, so that would be 2 5/16. So I do that. I'm going to set that at 2 5/16, and I'm going to go across right here at the point where I measured that. The other side, in between those two lines is true center. We're going to do the same thing up higher. All right, we're going to do that again right here. Now use the straight edge. Now we have the center line of our ski. There are a few different ways to do this, so if you have a different way of doing this, please let us know down in the comments below. Alright, now it's time for the template. Make sure that you have this oriented properly. So this is the tip of the ski, and this is the toe for my binding. Now what you're gonna do is line up your template to the center line and the center of your ski. I'm gonna stick a piece of tape there so it doesn't move. Take your punch and punch out all the holes. Put a little mark there so you know where to drill. Okay, so the next thing is, what bit size do you use? I need to find a screw. Okay, so if you look at for this particular screw, it's going to be a 9/64 bit, and you can see how the bit is just barely smaller than the shank of the screw. Okay, so the next question is, how deep do you go with your screws? Best way to figure that out is to take any one of your pieces of your bindings, put the screws all the way in, and then measure how far it sticks out. So measuring there, 0.33 inches. What you're gonna do is you're gonna mark this with tape. So I got the tape wrapped around there. Yep, that's just about perfect. Now the moment of truth, you're gonna drill through your skis.
No, you're not gonna drill through your skis.
Don't drill through your skis, just part way. Now it's time to mount the bindings. Alright.
I'm just not gonna move it.
There it is. We'll take some epoxy. See, hold my hand here so you guys can see it. So we're just gonna take a little bit of epoxy and dab it into each hole here, and just kind of try to get it down into the bottom of the hole. Alright, so take all the screws out of your bindings before you mount them. So now you're gonna mount your actual bindings onto your skis. And you want to go just tight enough, not too tight. Okay, for your back bindings, if your brakes come off, probably a good idea to take them off. Just makes it a little bit easier. Oh, that's the second screw that I dropped. So I'm just gonna work my way around, putting in one screw at a time. Very lightly at first.
Put the right screws in the right hole.
There we go. So now it's time to take your skis out, find your favorite cliff, and send it. And if you're not quite ready for ski season, then why don't you check out that video right there. Is that about where it's gonna be?
Is it gonna be like midway?
It's gonna be like on that side of the screen.
In the, like halfway up, right here.
Okay, check out that video. You'll like it.